of obligations. Now, thought. Okay, when we talk about thoughts, it's a French word actually. Thought is a French word, means wrong. Literally means wrong. And if you look at the law of contract, okay, law of contract, if you wanted to enforce your rights under law of contract, you need to prove that you have a contractual relationship with another person. For example, like A and B enter into a contract and B breach his obligations under the contract. So what A need to do first to establish that there is a relationship, there is a contractual relationship between A and B. If there is no contractual relationship, then B is not responsible to A. A cannot claim from B. Why? Because there's no relationship. For under contract, you always need to prove that there is a relationship. What kind of relationship? Contractual relationship. But the question is, what if you do not have any relationship, but you suffer damage and you do not have any contractual relationship with that person? Then how do you claim damages from that person? So this is how thought come into the picture. Okay, so thought is basically it is a French word meant wrong. Okay, wrong, meaning you are doing wrong to someone else. So thought is a law of obligation. So what kind of obligation? Okay, what kind of obligation? So first, what we will cover in this topic is what is the law of thought. Meaning, uh, when I talk about thought, what is thought? What is the law of thought? Okay, and we're going to talk about negligence, and then we're going to talk about the most important thing to you is professional advice, because most of you are working. Okay, most of you are working, and in the course of your employment, okay, in the course of your employment, sometimes something happen. You inadvertently causing damage to someone else. So what is your duties? What is your liabilities? And what is your defenses if you are in that kind of position? Okay. So now, what is law of thought? Okay, law of thought is a duty. Okay, the duty of care, meaning all of us, okay, all of us, we have this duty of care. Then you may wanted to ask me, okay, Sharin, under the law of contract, I can look at the contract act, and I know basically what is my duty, what is my obligation based on the contract act, and I can know what is the obligation based on the contract. When I read the contract, I know what is my obligation. When I read the contract act, I know the obligation. But this law of thought, you talk about duty. Okay, when I talk about duty under the law of thought, where can I find this duty? Where does it spell out my duty? Is there any list of duties that I can browse through that so I know that I won't breach this duty? Unfortunately, no. Okay, because law of thought is a common law. Common law means it is a unwritten law. Okay, unwritten law. But to give you some guideline, law of thought is our legal duty. Means all of us, you and I, we have a legal duty not to harm others. Okay, so it is simple. You just avoid damaging others. You just avoid injuring others. You just avoid not to cause other losses. Okay, so that is the duty of care, duty of not to cause harm or damage to another. It can be bodily harm. It can be It can be harm to the property. It can be economic loss. Okay, for example, like if you heard the news sometime last week or sometime last 2 weeks, whereby there is an incident in one of the construction site at the highway. Okay, you have a highway, all right, in somewhere in KL, and then there's a construction above. Okay, they're building another highway on top of the original highway. They bridge another highway. Okay, so that place become a construction site, and something fell off. Okay, something fell off means I think the story is like this. There is a lorry carrying a container. So it's a huge lorry, very high. And then that lorry misjudged the height of the what they call this, a bridge, or the highway on top, the highway which is still in construction. So the container hit, okay, the highway which is still under construction, and it collapsed. Okay, it collapsed, and it hits a few other people, a few other motorists. Okay, it hits other motorists. So that is negligence. Okay, that is negligence. So negligence on whose part? Okay, it is a fact. It was reported that um, the construction company failed to advise. Okay, failed to put in signs showing the maximum heights. Meaning, say, if vehicle or normal cars is okay, but if you are a lorry carrying a container, there will be a maximum heights. Okay, you see this, all right, in bridges, all that. So the construction company failed to advise or failed to give warnings to those who use that highway, that this is the maximum height. If you breach this height, then don't use this highway. So the omission or the failure to put in the warnings of the maximum height is negligence, or it is a breach of duty of care under the law of tort. Okay, so this is one example of torts. Second example of tort is, for example, like um, you are owner of that building. Okay, let's say you are owner of an office building. Then of course every morning you ask your maintenance worker to mop the floor. Okay, mop the floor. Of course, when your maintenance worker mop the floor becomes slippery, right? Because especially if the floor is marble, made from marble. So when your maintenance worker mop the floor, it becomes slippery. Then someone walk through the door into the building and slip and injured. Okay, because of slip, because of the floor becomes slippery, that person slipped, fell down, and injured himself. Okay, so that person, okay, that person who injured himself can actually sue you for damages, can sue you for money, can sue you to pay for compensation. Why? Because you fail to give warnings to those who are coming into your building that there is some danger. Okay, the floor is slippery. So the failure to do this, the failure to give warnings, is a breach under the law of torts. Okay, so another example is um, I'm teaching you corporate law. Okay, I'm teaching you corporate law for 14 weeks. Okay, for 14 weeks, but I always cancel my class. Okay, for 14 weeks, I only turn up for 13 weeks only. I only turn up for 1 week for the introduction. Then Other 13 weeks, I go AWOL, missing in action. But then at the end of the semester, you need to answer final year, final exam, right? Final exam. So because I did not come, because I did not fulfill my duty to teach or to give you lecture for 13 weeks, when you come in for your exam, you look at the question, of course you don't know how to answer because nobody guide you. Okay, nobody guide you on the syllabus. Then you fail. Okay, you fail. Touch wood, touch wood, touch wood. This is just a example. Then you fail. And then, of course, when you fail, you need to take the receipt for the exam again. Or you need to take the paper next semester. And this costs you time and money. And time and money. For those foreign students, then you extra year in Malaysia. Of course, it involves money as well. So of course, when it costs you time and money, that it is your loss. So who's going to pay for the loss? Then you can sue me for failure to fulfill my duty of care. Okay, I need to care for you. Okay, all of us have the duty of care. What care about what? Care not to cause harm or damage to another. Okay, all right. So that is example of thoughts, breach of duty of care in thoughts. So it can be it can be positive and negative. Okay, it can be positive action, it can be negative action. The duty of care is to do something or failure to do something. Okay, for example, like positive action, positive action that breach or duty of care is, for example, like I put in all the thumbtacks, okay, thumbtacks at the corridor. Okay, I put thumbtacks at the corridor. I know that there are people who are going to use that corridor to and fro, to and fro, to and fro, right? But I purposely put in thumbtacks, a lot of it, at the corridor. And then someone walking at the corridor and stepped into one of the thumbtack and he injured himself. So that in that case, I have failed in my duty of care. Okay, I failed in my duty of care. Meaning to say, I positively doing something. Okay, positive action. I'm doing something which cause harm to someone. And it can also negative action. It can also omission of not doing something. The omission is like this, the one that I gave you just now. When I fail to come to give lectures for 13 weeks, that is my omission. Omission means something which I fail to do. Okay, so for duty of care, okay, duty of care is a positive or omission, or positive act or omission to do something which breach the duty of care. So can you get the idea of what is the duty of care? All right. So you got the idea, yeah?
Yep.
So never mind. This is just
Yes, I
introduction.
understand.
Right. Then you're going to get further explanation after this. Now, next slide. And then what is negligence? Now I wanted to introduce to you the concept of negligence. Okay, you neglect to do something. You negligence means you neglecting to do something or neglecting to not to do something. It is a breach of legal duty of care. Okay, negligence is also a breach of legal duty of care. So now you need to, if you wanted to sue someone for breach of duty of care, you must first show that the defendant owe you the duty of care. Okay, meaning to say, it is the duty of that person to care for you. All right. And then the defendant actually breached the duty of care, meaning first you need to prove that the defendant owe you the duty of care. Secondly, the defendant breached the duty of care, and then the breach of the duty of care resulted in damages to you, meaning you suffer losses, and then the damage is foreseeable. Okay, never mind. We're going to look at this one by one. Okay, now, duty of care. What is a duty of care? Okay, duty of care is the duty to take reasonable care not to cause foreseeable harm to others. So when we talk about duty of care in law of torts, we must remember this case, Donahue against Stevenson in 1932. Okay, this is a very famous case, Donahue against Stevenson, or what we call a snake lah, the snail in the bottle case. Okay, snail in the bottle case. So, how do this case got its nickname, snail in the bottle case? Okay, now, the fact is like this. Mrs. Donahue, she went to a cafe with a friend. Okay. Then they went to the cafe and her friend bought her a bottle of ginger beer. Okay, meaning to say they went to the cafe, but the one who bought the bottle of ginger beer is her friend. Okay, it is her friend who bought the ginger beer. And the fact shows that ginger beer, it is in an opaque glass bottle. Opaque glass bottle means it is a glass, a bottle made of glass, but it is opaque. Opaque means something which is the texture of the glass is quite rough.
He cannot
Right?
see through, right? Yeah.
You can see through, but it's not that clear.
Okay.
Right? You can imagine, right? An opaque glass. Opaque glass means the texture is a bit rough. You can barely see what inside. Okay, but you cannot for sure know what is inside. But you can see lah. Okay, you can see something is inside the bottle. All right, that's an opaque. Then, of course, when the friend bought the ginger beer bottle, then they share the drinks lah. They go and have chit chat, drink together, blah blah blah. Okay, and then the content of the ginger beer is about to finish. So Mrs. Donahue friend, being a gentleman, he of course when the bottle is, for example, this is a bottle, then if the bottle is full, you just pour the water like this, correct? But then if you wanted to finish off the content, of course you go all the way down like this, okay, to finish off the content. So what happened was, when her friend wanted to finish off the rest of the content to Mrs. Donahue glass, okay, or cup, and then suddenly there was a decomposed nail, okay, pop up from the bottle, goes into the cup of Mrs. Donahue. Okay, decomposed nail. Decomposed nail means that nail already dead and it being decomposed, meaning it's been there for maybe quite some time. Okay, all right, quite some time. So now, upon seeing this decomposed nail, Mrs. Donahue feel a bit upset, meaning, of course, she's been thinking like she's been drinking the water from that bottle, okay, almost finished, and it's already there inside her body. So she got upset. Not only upset, tummy, but it is what we call nervous shock, meaning like like that, right? He's very shocked, shell shock, what we call nervous shock in law. Okay, nervous shock. So of course, it affects Mrs. Donahue physically and emotionally. Okay, physically and emotionally. Of course, she suffered losses. No, she need to be hospitalized, medication, and she need to go to see psychiatrists. Okay, psychiatrists to for her emotions, that emotional injury and everything. So all this involve money, right? So she wanted to sue the manufacturer of this ginger beer. But the problem here, there is no contractual relationship between Mrs. Donahue and the manufacturer of the ginger beer. So under the law of contract, when there is no contractual relationship, there's no duty. You can't sue someone who do not have any relationship with you, any contractual relationship with you. Correct? We have learned this last week. So there is a problem. Then how Mr. Donahue wanted to sue or to get damages from this manufacturer of ginger beer? But they went to court anyway. They went to court. So the court looked at the case and they heard the argument. Okay, they heard an argument. Of course, the judges feel that the manufacturer need to be responsible. Why? Because during the trial, during the hearings, evidence shown to judges, okay, there are traces or there are evidence of snail mucus all over the factory, and there are open bottle at the floor. Okay, meaning basically the evidence shows that the factory where they manufacture the ginger beer is not well kept, dirty, not hygienic at all. Okay, there is a possibility of snails going into the bottle. Why? Because they see traces of snail mucus all over the factory. So it's very unhygienic places to produce ginger beer. So the judges feel that the manufacturer need to be accountable. Okay, but then the barrier is there's no contractual relationship between Mrs. Donahue and the manufacturer. So how? So the court, instead of using the law of contract, the court is using law of torts. So the court says that there was a duty on behalf of the manufacturer to take reasonable care in the manufacturing of the products. The manufacturer owes a duty to the consumer to take reasonable care to prevent injury. Okay, injury here is the physical and emotional effect to Mrs. Donahue lah. Okay, that's injury. Okay. So the court says that in this case, the manufacturer owes a duty of care to Mrs. Donahue. Okay, so if you take this case, it can be applied to any other cases right now. For example, like you are selling food, you are a restaurant owner. So as a restaurant owner, you must make sure that your restaurant is clean. Okay, meaning if someone after eating in your restaurant, then you might be responsible. You might be said to breach duty of care to your patron. Okay, so this is something that you can apply in today's business as well. So now let's looks further, okay, in this case.
So I have a question.
Pardon me?
I have a question, sir.
What kind of business? Obi?
No, I said I have a question.
Yes, Obi.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
In this scenario you just explained now, if it were to be practicable, how can one sue and win a case of that of this law of tort? Like example, they will be asking you, you have opened the bottle of the beer, then who I'm talking about the side of the company now. They said maybe because you have opened the bottle of beer, who knows where the mucus or the cockroach enters. Maybe you out of your carelessness, you place the bottle and the thing enters. So my question is, does one really win a case like this?
Did the what?
Does one really win a case of this situation you just explained now, of this the beer, the mucus in the beer? Like during the trial, the company might be saying that how is it possible that the thing is found inside the cup beer? That it might be out of ignorance that maybe the thing came from up and entered, you know?
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
is it actually possible for someone to sue and a case like this and the person will win?
Yes. So you're actually you're asking about the evidence on how to prove
Yes,
your case.
yes, yes,
Yeah, Obi. So now,
yes.
in this case, how to prove that the snail enter into the bottle in the factory of the manufacturer? It's not something which Mrs. Donahue purposely put into the bottle and try to gain profit from there.
We
Okay,
call the
so
black consumer in
yeah,
South Korea.
blame the consumer. Yeah, blame the consumer.
Yeah.
If it's not me, it's the consumer. All right. They purposely do this. They try to sabotage my company. So, all right. This is about evidencing. This is about proving your case in the court. Okay. So now, how to prove this case? Let's say let's say we are the lawyer for Mrs. Donahue. So how do we prove that the snail got into the bottle at the factory? Okay. Okay. Now, so this is about then you need to prove. Okay, you need to bring in evidence. You need to bring in witnesses. For example, like you need to be able to prove that you bought the bottle from the retailer, and when you bought